It is officially Madden season again, boys, as Madden 26 is officially out. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the top 10 tips every player needs to know to win more games. No matter what level player you are, we got tips that will improve your game. And as the video goes on, they will get even better. Let's get into it. So starting at number 10, I want to talk about how to defend all the OP RPOs that are in the game. So last year specifically, this RPO to tight and flat was very hard to stop, and it is still good this year, but there's an easy way to defend this. So what I want you guys to do is go into your coaching adjustments. At the play call screen, while you're on defense, you can click the right analog stick in to bring up your coaching adjustments. And you'll see that we now actually have RPO adjustments for the read and pass key. For these, you're actually going to want to set both of them to conservative in order to defend RPOs. With the pass key, you'll notice when you put on conservative, it literally says it will focus on the pass coverage. It will leave the run open, okay? Now, we're not too worried about the run because most of these runs with RPOs, they're just trying to abuse the pass portion of it anyways, and it's not a big deal. You can easily just call a good defense, and you'll be able to stop the run pretty effectively. Now, when you call a defense, what you really need to do is have a hard flat zone over in the area that they're running this. Now, you don't want him to be like literally directly over the top of the slot because then he might get blocked. You kind of just want him in this general area. And what you'll notice is now for hard flat, he has the P icon over his head. That means he's responsible. And because we put it on conservative, you'll notice he's going to play it. He's going to be right there to break it up, make a play on it every single time. Tip number 9. I want you guys to go into your defensive settings and make sure you have turned on controlled player art. Now, this is a very good setting, and here's why it is so vital. Basically, when you're on defense with this setting, pre-play, like before the ball is snapped, whichever player you're clicked on controlling, whether you're staying on one player, scrolling through a bunch of them, it's going to show his assignment. And why this is important is if you're making a bunch of adjustments and changes to your defense, you'll always see the user's assignment. So it lets you know if you've messed up your adjustments or you put them in something you didn't want them to. You can easily fix this and not have blown coverages or assignments. Tip number 8. I want to talk about the new safety coaching adjustments. Real quick, guys, if you want to dominate Madden 26 and win more games, check out my VIP membership on Sportsgamerz.com. This is where I post all my premium content, including all the offensive and defensive ebooks I release all year long, in addition to premium Madden Vault weekly tip updates. You will learn the proven strategies thousands of players have used to win more games, and over 99% of my members say that they win more games with my tips. Click the link in the description to join now and start winning more games today. And once again, you can access these at the play call screen simply by pressing the right analog stick in. I'm going to give you my preferred coaching adjustments for the safeties. For depth, we have options. We can do close, which is 8 yards off the line. Tight is 5. Prevent is 32. Deep is 25. And default is just, the standard depth. Now, I personally prefer close. I'll explain why in a second. For pinch, or safety width, I put them on pinch. You can do pinch wide or spread or default. I like pinch. Now, there's a few benefits to these settings I'm about to explain. Let's start with run defense. So the first thing is when you have your safeties in the box, close, they're going to be, closer to the line of scrimmage. We're in cover 4 here, which means the safeties are going to react a little bit more aggressively to the run. And just with the safeties in the box, you can see there's just not as much area to work with. Like, even though the D-line got blocked pretty well, we had enough people in the box to be able to make a play. And there, the other thing about it is it just makes your gap shoots a lot easier with your user. You can get into the backfield, you can make plays, but you're seeing the safeties are right there to help out. The other thing about this is in the pass game, if you're playing one of those guys who just loves to chuck little quick seam passes, which we know was a very common theme last year, with the safeties in the box like this just makes it a lot more difficult because we're right there to make a play and break that up. A lot of people would last year come out in a specific play that brought the safeties into the box for this very reason, but this year you don't even need to do that because it's a coaching adjustment. Now, the reason why I like it on close and not tight, it's basically 2 reasons. If I'm on tight, it's basically going to limit the coverages I can call. On close, I can call different coverages. I can call cover 2 and I feel like, my safeties aren't too far into the box to get out to the sidelines, I can call the cover fours, I can call man. I feel like I can call all coverages on this alignment and still get the benefits. Now, if I was to happen to go to tight, you're going to see that this is a big drastic difference. And you would think it's only a few yards, but it's really not. They actually align a lot closer. I mean, it is technically just a few yards, sure, but this is a huge difference. Like, if I called this, first of all, my safeties better be very fast. But secondly, like, I can't really call cover two. Like, I could call cover four, but I can't call cover two, man. If they run anything to stress the sidelines, especially from a spread formation, I'm going to be out of luck. Now, if they're in a compressed set and they're not stressing the sidelines, I might be okay. But this is just far too risky, which is why I prefer close. Tip number 7, how to look at your run fits. So when you're on defense before the ball is snapped, depending upon the defense you're in, you'll have different run fits. And run fits are essentially the gap each defender is responsible for in the run game. Now, to look at these pre-snap, all you're going to do is hold down both of the triggers, or L2 and R2, and then if you want to see run fits to the left, you would hit square, and you guys can see who is in the run fit, right? Now, if you want to see run fits to the right, you would hit circle, and you can see majority of the time, the players in the box are going to be in run fits. Now, this is cover 4, and in cover 4, typically the safeties will be in the run fit, and you're seeing that the defenders basically with the lines, the orangish lines, those are the actual run fits. Like here, this linebacker is responsible for this gap. This linebacker is responsible for, let's click on him, this gap. So you guys can see, and you can also even adjust the positioning because like right now, this is not a good position. He really should be here to really hit his gap hard. And you'll see that this is his gap, shoots in, we're able to at least, should have made the tackle, but solid defense. So knowing the run fits is very crucial because it allows you to know how to defend the run based upon the defense you're in. Tip number 6. We have a new feature in the game. If you want to learn how to make millions of coins to get all the best players on your Madden Ultimate team, check out the Coin Authority on Sportsgamerz.com. Click the link in the description of this video and use coupon code COINS for 10% off your order. Known as Untarget Defender. Now, I spoke about this feature recently in a video for the run game. It is also very important for the pass game because what's been going on is a lot of players use cover 0 blitzes and they take their user and stand over the O-line trying to confuse your O-line. Now, when you do a blitz like this with the guy just standing over the O-line, he's confusing the O-line because the O-line thinks, oh, he could rush even though he probably won't, and that just allows the blitz to come quicker than it really should. However, with the new Untarget the Defender feature, all we got to do is just flick the right analog stick up, and then we can untarget the user knowing, okay, they're just trying to confuse the O-line, but they're not actually wanting to rush. Once we do this, you'll see now this blitz gets completely picked up, and I have plenty of time to make a read. Did we drop the ball? Yes, but you can see the concept in play. Tip number 5, we're sticking with pass protection here, and I want to talk about the best way to pass protect because there are a few bugs you do need to be aware of. So we already spoke about Untarget the Defender, but let's actually talk about the quickest ways to use slide protection and the best type of protection in general. So this year, you'll notice that you can actually slide protect just flicking the right analog stick. So if you want to slide protect right, if you flick the right analog stick to the right, it will do a half slide to the right. If you flip it to the right twice, it will do a full slide to the right. Now, same thing to the left. If we want to do a half slide left, just flick the right analog stick, I can't talk today, to the left once, we'll do a half slide left. If we do twice, it's a full slide to the left. Now, the other thing about this is if you want to make your adjustments and it's just not letting you, sometimes this year your adjustments will freeze for pass protection. It can be very annoying. The best way to counter that in an actual game is to quiet the crowd. How do you quiet the crowd? Basically just flick, tap, however you want to call it, the right analog stick. The quarterback will quiet the crowd, which will get you out of the animation where you're stuck and you can get back into making your adjustments. Tip number 4, the best passing settings to use. Guys, this is actually huge this year because for whatever reason this year, there are a ton of overthrows, and if you're using the wrong settings, you're going to get screwed. So the biggest thing here is you need to use placement and accuracy, and you need it on none. I've used small in the past, and in past games it didn't, cause me any problems. But on this game, if you use small, even or especially medium or large, you're just gonna have way too many overthrows. You want none. You don't want the pass lead increase because you don't want more of a chance for overthrows. Reason why we want placement and accuracy though is we do want to be able to control the accuracy and placement. These other ones don't give you both. Now for reticle speed, I put it on 7 to 20. I feel like that is the best. I would say it's acceptable to be anywhere from like 6 to 12. You don't want to go too low. You don't want to go too high. These are the best settings to prevent overthrows, bar none. Tip number 3, the new slot fade hot route is a must use in your offense. So this year's slot receivers can be hot routed, and you'll see here, to a route known as the slot fade. And you'll see when you pull up your hot route button for a slot receiver, slot fade is L2. This route is very nice. This is how it looks. Now, when you pair this slot fade with a streak and then some sort of just quick route to the flat, this absolutely destroys, and I say destroys cover 2. Cover 2 this year is actually a good coverage, but slot fades are so OP because they'll get in that soft window right there for easy touchdown. Now, they're also very good to use against guys in cover 3 and cover 4. Against cover 2, it's more of we're looking for the slot fade for a big play. But against a cover 3 or cover 4, if we pair it with a corner route, the slot fade actually pulls the deep zone, which then allows the corner route to get wide open on the sideline, kind of just as you see here. The slot fade is the best new hot route in the game by far because it has so many different uses. They are a must to add into your game. Tip number 2, no matter what playbook you use, you need to use one that has an Automotion wheel route. Get into your playbook and find plays like motion, mesh rail, out of the gun, wide trio close, where you see we have that outside right receiver across the formation on the fade. It is unguardable when you know how to use it. Let me explain why it is so good. So basically here with these routes, if you just do a seam streak route and then like a post drag, something simple over the middle of the field, what you're going to notice is this is basically unguardable. And you'll see you can throw these on the sideline pretty much each and every time unless they stick switch over there. However, they're not really going to be able to stick switch over there against a good play like this because first of all, you can't just leave the flat, you have a drag. Then you have the middle of the field where you have the post over the middle. Then you have a seam. So which defender are you really going to be able to take away to defend this sideline? You can see what I mean. Pretty much nobody. These routes just put so much stress on the defense this year. With a route combo like this, you have got to put them in your game. Trust me on that. Trust me. So tip number 1, and probably my favorite new addition into the game, is the route commit. Now, I did an extremely in-depth video on route commit the other day. It's the secret to playing elite man coverage video. If you want a more in-depth breakdown on the route commit, be sure to check out that video on my channel. But basically, guys, to give you an overview of why the route commit is so good this year, is it allows you to enhance your man coverage. Zone coverage this year is very weak. There are some good zones overall, but there's a ton of more bad ones than there are good. You can't play good zone, don't get me wrong. It's just a lot more challenging to play good zone than it is good man. Man coverage is as good as it's been in a long time. A lot of it has to do with the route commit. So how do we route commit? Well, to route commit, what you're going to do is you're going to hit R1 or RB. And then when you do that, you'll see we get the route commit menu. Inside is to the left on the left stick, outside to the right on the right stick. Now this route commits your entire defense, but you also can just individually route commit one player if you wish. But basically, what's this going to do? Well, if we're getting beat by like corner routes or speed outs or just routes to the sideline, if we were to route commit to the outside, it's going to tell the defenders, hey, jump routes to outside. Maybe we're getting beat by posts and drags. If we route commit inside, it's going to tell those defenders, hey, route commit inside. Now, route commit is way more powerful than shading, so it's more of a risk reward, basically. If you guess right, you'll have a higher chance to make a play. I'm not going to say it's 100% of the time, but it's high. But if you guess wrong, you could definitely get cooked. So you got to be smart about this. It does make a huge difference, but there is a consequence if you overuse it and just use it the wrong way. So like here, if I'm getting beat by corners, I'm going to route commit outside, and we're going to see what happens. So you guys can see that corner route on the right of the screen, it got defended very well. Like there was not really a window to throw this. However, and you'll see the tight end, same thing, tight end got defended well. However, you will see the two routes over in the middle of the field, which were the running back angle and then this like kind of like return type route. They did get separation. Now I want to say that they got wide open, but they did get open. So you do see if you route commit outside and there's inside routes, those probably will get open. But if you route commit outside for the outside routes, those probably will get covered. So it definitely is something that's very useful. Just make sure you're using it right. And there are more advanced ways to use this. Like I said, you can combo route commit with shading. You can route commit globally or individually. There's a lot to it. And if you want a full breakdown on that, like I said, check out my video. Until next time, it's your boy Duke. I'm out of here.